Knowing enough, life is always gentle. The inner garden and morning dew. In the garden of each person's life, we always yearn to plant many kinds of flowers, wishing for a vibrant, fragrant garden. But sometimes, this very incessant longing inadvertently creates a burden, making the garden feel cramped and our souls heavy. Knowing enough is not about abandoning dreams, but the art of finding peace and lightness right in what one already possesses. Imagine the story of a gardener named Mai. Mai had a lovely small garden, inherited from her grandmother. This garden wasn't overly large, but it had enough varieties of flowers blooming seasonally, from proud roses to simple wild daisies. Mai tended her garden with all her heart, and every morning she would go out to admire the dewdrops on the leaves, inhaling the gentle fragrance of the flowers. However, Mai often visited other magnificent flower gardens, places with rare and exotic flowers, elaborate stone pathways, or grand fountains. She began to feel her own garden was truly small and monotonous. Mai thought, "I must have a bigger garden, with unique flowers and more expensive decorations." So, Mai began to work tiredly. She bought more land, tore down part of the fence to expand her garden. She sought out expensive seeds, imported ornamental plants. She spent all her time and money to transform her garden into a perfect place like what she saw in others. Mai no longer had time to admire the dewdrops, no longer had the presence of mind to inhale the familiar scent of flowers. She was always in a hurry, anxious because the garden kept growing and the things she wanted seemed to be never enough. Mai's garden indeed became larger and more magnificent, but Mai did not feel happy. She was tired from having to spend too much time caring for it. The rare flowers needed special care, and she always feared they would wither. She no longer felt the peace and lightness she had before. The garden now felt like a huge burden instead of a source of joy. One afternoon, as Mai was sighing in her large garden, an elderly neighbor walked by. The elder saw Mai's tired face and asked, "My dear, your garden is truly beautiful, but why do you look so sad?" Mai told the elder about her longing for a perfect garden and her never-ending anxiety. The elder smiled kindly, pointing to a small wild daisy blooming by the pathway. "My dear, happiness is not in owning the biggest or most beautiful garden. Happiness lies in appreciating and finding beauty in every smallest flower you already have. A dewdrop on a leaf is as beautiful as a diamond if you know how to see it with a heart that knows enough." The elder's words were like a cool breeze blowing through my soul. She looked at the wild daisy, then at the dewdrops on the leaves. She suddenly realized that, in her relentless pursuit of more, she had overlooked so much simple beauty and peace that was always within her reach. She had enough, but she didn't know that she had enough. From that day on, Mai began to change. She no longer tried to expand her garden indefinitely. She spent time pruning overgrown plants, removing unnecessary things, and focusing on caring for the flowers she truly loved. She began again to spend time admiring the dewdrops, inhaling the familiar fragrance, and feeling the peace that permeated every moment. Mai's garden was no longer as vast or magnificent as other gardens, but it was filled with harmony and natural beauty. Mai felt lighter and happier than ever. She realized that knowing enough is not about stopping, but about knowing how to enjoy the journey, how to find value in simple things, and how to let one's soul be at peace. The deepest lesson from this story is, the fear of not having enough or the incessant longing for more often causes us to miss the beauty and peace of the present. Knowing enough does not mean ceasing to strive, but knowing how to appreciate what one has, finding joy in simple things, and not letting endless desires control one's soul. When we truly know enough, life becomes lighter and more serene, because happiness is not a destination, but the journey we take with a grateful heart and a peaceful soul.